You don't make up for your sins at the church. You do it in the streets. You do it at home. The rest is bullshit, and you know it.
I know you know where they are, so tell me, before I do some damage, you won't walk away.
You shit-kicking, stinky horse-smelling motherfucker, you!
Hey! Who'd you talk to? What's going on? It is me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L. This is Legit Paranormal Vacation Planners, brought to you by legitparanormal.com, brought to you by legitpodcast.com. It is, I believe, a Tuesday. I could be off, but I believe it's Tuesday, and it's 7/12/22. So that's 712-2022. For the math geeks, I would be very excited because if you add up the numbers after 7, they equal 7. Joining me, Elise G. What's up, Elise?
That is some heavy math there.
Yeah, that's the math geekness in me. You look at the numbers, you try to figure it out really quick. Like
Yeah.
a crossing puzzle. Yeah. So 7 minus 1, 6 minus 2 is 4, minus 2 is 2, minus 2 is 0. We're done. Perfect for the math geeks. How are you, Elise?
I'm fine. How are you? Lucky number 7.
I'm doing good.
What's hot today?
We are, I guess, what are we doing? We're trying to book people to take a beautiful trip to a couple locations that are actually in our backyard of Rhode Island and Mass.
Yeah.
Great places, though, right? This is what you told me before you said
From what I've heard, yeah. I haven't stayed overnight in either one of them. But...
All right. So before we get into that, joining us are two local residents of the area that know the location well. If you would like to do the introductions, you can. If not, I'll do it. But that's usually Buddy's job. So I'm going to defer to you, Elise. Joining us is
Sue Vickery and Deb Vickers.
Hi.
How are you guys? Sue, you're on mute.
All right. Hi.
Hey, there you are. So good to see you too.
So, the last name thing got me quick. Like, it was Sue Vickery and Deb Vickers. Like, that's perfect. Like, did you guys know that ahead of time? Like, you were like, oh my God, these two last names are perfect. Let's put them together. Or is that not a
I don't think that's the way it worked. No.
It works different around here. Deb, how was your night?
Pretty good, not bad.
You don't seem very excited. Which is good.
Yeah, not really. It's just been a long day. Sorry.
It is. I'm actually dealing with a broken collarbone on my left side because my dog pulled me. Now, I know that doesn't sound like much, but if you saw my dog, you'd understand when he pulls you. He pulls you. I'm lucky I still have my arm. So now tonight we are, and like I like to say before every show, I do receive commission for any vacations we plan. Elise handles all of the payment information, all that stuff. You can see the numbers scrolling right now across the bottom of the screen.
Oh, yes. We take MasterCard, Visa, Venmo, you name it, cash. We'll take it.
IOU. Yeah.
How much have we made so far, Mike?
All right. Well, give me 1 second then, because
you like
zero.
The number?
It's zero. It's zero so far.
That was easy to figure out, wasn't it?
We've been trying. Vickery and Vickers. We've been trying, and it just seems like I try to book these vacations, and everybody's got something bad to say about the spots. And I mean, we had a conversation with HR, I believe, last Thursday. Elise was there. She got scolded at a little bit because we're really trying to get people to go to these vacations because that's what we want to do. We're vacation planners. So, where are we starting first, Elise?
I heard that you want to plan a trip to Massachusetts.
Of course.
And specifically in Fall River.
Yeah, because what is more beautiful than Fall River?
In the middle of the summer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No sarcasm there.
No, none at all.
So
It's
what?
in the water.
What is the name of this vacation
The
spot?
Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast. Because you wanted breakfast, right?
Yeah, that's just an odd name though, because that reminds me of that rhyme with that girl who killed people. Sue, now you know a lot about the Lizzie Borden house in Fall River, Mass. Correct?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Would it not be a great location for a vacation?
For a night or two, yeah, that's a great spot. Everybody should go there.
Yep. See, this is perfect. Now, Deb, you've been there a lot, right? You're a local resident, been there for a long time.
Yeah, Sue and I worked there for 15 years as tour guides. So yeah, it's an amazing spot. It's just magical. It's extremely active if you like that kind of thing, the paranormal. There's been all kinds of.
What do you mean by that, though, Deb? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, the house is haunted for sure.
It is.
It is definitely. So if you like that kind of thing, it's the perfect vacation.
All right, but all right, haunted. I
We
mean,
need to talk them into it.
like in other words, because it's haunted. The rooms that you would sleep. How are the beds? How's the bedrooms?
Well, when we were there, everything was really nice, nice and clean. I can't speak now because we don't work there anymore. So, but the bedrooms are beautiful. You can get a whole master suite with your own bathroom, or you can share a bathroom. 2 big bedrooms. You can sleep in the murder room if you like.
Sorry,
and then there are in the
What?
murder room where Mrs. Boyd was murdered. You can sleep if you like, right next to where she was murdered.
Murder? There's
I
a
knew
murder
you
room.
would choose that, wouldn't you? You would choose that, Mike.
That's a great bedroom to sleep in.
It is. It's awesome.
Okay, but why? So like if I'm checking in, do I say, hey, this is Mike Lepre, I'd like to stay in the murder room?
I believe you go online and you pick your room ahead of time.
But how would I know where the murder room is?
If you go to the house's website, it should tell you a bit about each room.
Oh boy.
It'll tell you about your stay and the different things they offer at the house these days.
Okay. Ah boy. So let's start at the beginning with this place. A little bit of history. Elise, just give me a little bit of the background of this, because I've heard murder so far. I have heard haunted. These are 2 words that do not do a good job in selling a vacation. However, let's explore that a little bit more and figure this out.
Well, the rest of us really enjoy a place that is called haunted. These 2 ladies, these days, now that they're not giving tours of the house, are known as the Lizzie Borden Tour Guide Investigations Unit. They actually do paranormal investigations. But
Wait a minute, what's the whole name? The Lizzie Borden Guide Investigation. What?
It's a mouthful, yeah.
It's on YouTube, and it's Lizzie Borden Tour Guide Investigations.
Lizzie Borden Tour Guide Investigation. You get LBTGI.
Right. And when you go to that, you'll be able to see those beautiful rooms in there, still in like 1890s decor and flowered wallpaper and old style furniture. Not a lot of original, but what would have been there in the house. These ladies can tell you so much more about what went on there and what this house is like than I can.
All right. So Stu, let me ask you this.
Yep.
First off, I don't like flowered wallpaper. Growing up as an Italian, surrounded by nothing but Italians, 2 things that really bother me are brown paneling and flowered wallpaper. They just, but is it a nice flower? I don't even know if that's possible. Is it a nice flowered wallpaper?
I mean, each room is different. It's Victorian. They were big on wallpaper, so you're going to get that genuine Victorian feel when you walk through the door.
Yeah. Does that go the same with plumbing? Do I get the same Victorian feeling when I'm in the bathroom?
Well, the guests are lucky these days. They have upgraded the plumbing in the house, so indoor bathrooms. Hey.
Look at this. Moving up in the world.
Well, they had money, so it was a nice house.
So
It was a barn.
someone help me start with the beginning. Deb, you were a tour guide. If I say to you, hey, Deb, what happened?
All right, I'll shorten it for you.
But you have to shorten it. You can do whatever you want. I'm just
okay. Back on August 4th of 1892, Mr. and Mrs. Borden were brutally murdered in their home, and the only people home were Lizzie and the maid Bridget Sullivan. Lizzie ended up being acquitted for lack of evidence. And, these were very brutal murders, and it was a long trial.
So what did she do? Did she just come home? Do we know the story? Did she come home like in the middle of the afternoon just whacking them up? Or what was the whole cause?
Well, she's actually acquitted, so.
Allegedly. She allegedly lopped them up.
Yeah, I mean.
What was it? A spur of the moment?
Some people say it was planned all along. They died an hour and a half apart, though, so it's doubtful a stranger broke in, killed one of them, hid in the house for an hour and a half, and then killed the father. Mm-hmm. So all signs point to Lizzie, but no evidence against her.
Or someone with really bad OCD to take that long and whacking someone up, to take an hour and a half and then pause and take the other person out. Like, that's torture. So that's not good. I've always been against torture. My whole life.
That's a good thing.
Said that it's not a good thing. So I still stand by my stance, if that even makes sense. So basically what we think, Deb, is that she took an axe and then gave her mother 40 whacks. And then when she saw what she had done, I guess she gave her dad 41. Right?
Yeah, that's not exactly historically accurate, but it's a cute rhyme. Abby got 19 whacks and Andrew had 10 to 11.
And you know what? I just learned the second verse to that poem today. I had never heard it before.
Really?
You know it, Mike?
Yeah, we used to sing it as a kid in the city here.
Andrew Gordon now is dead. Lizzie hit him on the head. Up in heaven he will sing. On the gallows she will swing. I had never heard that before.
Yeah.
It should end with something like this poem is so beautiful as you could see, but all these acts were allegedly. Like, right. It needs that whole angle to the rhyme. Like, bring it up to date because again, she got acquitted. Now, Deb, why do you think she what was the cause? What did they believe the reasoning was that Lizzie just said, like, today's the day, I'm going to lop them up?
Well, there's a lot of theories on that. Some people believe there was some sexual abuse. Some people believe it was money. We really don't know. We'll never be able to figure that out. But there's a lot of assumption.
And Sue, how old was she when she did this?
32.
Allegedly.
Yeah, 32 years old.
All right, but Sue, she's 32 years old and she's living at home, right?
Yes, with her older sister who was 41.
Wow, we get numbers everywhere. All right, 41 for the sister. Now, I guess that's not really strange for that time. But if you're 32 years old as a female, by my history, they kind of, it's almost like you missed the boat. Like, it's almost like
a spinster.
What's that?
A spinster.
What's a spinster?
It's an unwed woman of a certain age.
Oh, I never knew that.
An old maid.
An old maid. So spinster, why? Because they're spinning the yarn or something? They just at home spinning the yarn?
Well,
I'll look up the etymology for you.
Abby was actually the girl's stepmom, but she was somewhat of a spinster when she married Mr. Borden.
That word spinster is really messing with my head right now. I'm trying to make it fit. I keep thinking of something totally different.
And he had money too, so that might have to get into this.
So the mom wasn't a nice person. The dad was a rich person. Maybe that wasn't so nice. There was alleged sexual abuse. Probably more alleged stuff. And then on what was the exact date? This
August 4th.
August 4th.
1892.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez Louise. So, all right. As far as, so since then, after the murders, she was acquitted. But now, has there been any paranormal activity since then? Any kind of murders or anything that we need to talk about? I mean, since the whole Lizzie Borden thing that happened in 1892, or is the title kind of clear now?
We
Sue?
could talk about what happened before, Sue. Tell them about the kids.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh-oh.
that property dates back prior to that year, and in 1848, Andrew Borden's uncle lived next door, and his wife actually drowned 3 young children in a well. 2 survived, and two died. The oldest survived. And that was all like one property back then.
And then she killed herself in the kitchen.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
How do you survive a drowning?
She was able to crawl out of the well.
Oh, all right. So the mom just threw him in the well and was like, they're going to drown. And then she went and killed herself.
Correct.
That's awful. That's another thing I'm against is throwing people down a well. I want to make sure everyone knows that. I've never been someone that's in favor of that. It's just not a bad thing. So one girl survived. The mom went back in the house. How did she kill herself? Was it a hanging with a rickety stool?
No, razor blade to the throat.
Wow. That was cold, Sue. Like, I'm over here thinking, maybe she hung herself, and you just said that so matter-of-factly. That was dead on. Razor blade to the throat. So, ear to ear type thing?
As far as I know.
Jesus Christ. Oh, well, she wanted to get it done. I mean, she had to do what she had to do.
Deliberate way to go. That's for darn sure. Wow.
So after this clears up, do these children remain? Are there any children paranormal voices that we're going to have to worry about at this place?
For sure.
Yes.
Elaborate on that, Sue. What do you mean by where am I going to hear kid paranormal voices?
Mainly on the 3rd floor of the home. You might hear them laughing, running. They like to touch people while they're sleeping sometimes.
All right, let's get back to this, the topic that I just seem like I keep getting on. Do you really believe that they are kids, or do you believe that it's something else using kid voices?
No, I believe those are the kids.
Deb?
Yeah, I do believe they are the children, for sure.
All right, so here's my issue, and I say it all the time, I guess. I have a hard time with if a kid is born and is tortured or something bad is done to them, that somehow some of them is forever stuck in that mode and doesn't pass on.
It's not forever. It's not forever.
Okay. No. But it's till when then?
I mean, until they come to their own resolution, I guess. But remember, time's not linear for them. For them, it was like yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. I just don't think universally there's a balance when you say that like a little kid could be murdered, tortured, and then their soul somehow still stays in that same place. Like you would think that, like in my theory, if you're a dog or a kid, you should go right to heaven. There's no stopping. Like you just didn't do anything wrong.
Well, I mean, most people do go right there, but eventually they all do.
Elise, you understand what I'm saying with this. You know my
whole. What if they just, what if there is some sort of a decision that a person or a child can make, and maybe they would want to stay in a place they liked. Maybe they were having fun there with their brother and sister, at the time, and that's what they remember. They're not remembering being thrown in the well. They're remembering, I love this place. It's home. Why would I want to leave my home?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a tough one to swallow right there, because I mean, if I would just got drowned in a well, my memories would be of drowning in a well, being tortured, being hurt. I don't think I would have I won't have happy memories. So
you don't know that,
right? Maybe if your life just got snuffed out like that, you didn't even know you died. Basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
You think you're still there.
But then, don't we say that there's people that can help spirits, ghosts pass on, move on? Is that true?
I mean, I've heard that, but who knows?
Right. I believe they want to move on.
Yes. I believe there's cases where you can maybe help them resolve why they're here, but can you make them move on? No. They'll move on when they it's their time to move on when
Right.
they want.
So an adult who feels like they have to be here. You know, you're a mom and you feel like
I have no problem with adults.
Mm.
I have no problem with adults sticking around and doing whatever they want. They live their life. They made the decisions. Again, I just have an issue with the fact that places, they constantly have little kids' voices, and it's just like I don't know. It's almost like I feel like they need to be set free, but maybe that's not the case. So, all right, back to this location. What is there to do in the area, Deb? It's like 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I'm like, hey, let's go get some dinner and go someplace. What would you advise?
Well, there's so many good. Oh my God, the food is so good. There's the Tipsy Toboggan. Oh, so good. You can sit by the fire at night. You can sit outside, and then you can go right across from that and visit Sue at Stumpy's Hatchet Throwing, which is really, really fun.
So you work at Stumpy's
Hatchet House.
Hatchet House.
Oh my God.
Yep.
And where's it located?
It's in Fall River on Ferry Street.
All right. And how much does it cost for me to come there and throw axes?
$25 per person for an hour. And there's various discounts available.
Is there a website for it?
Yep. Just Google Stumpy's Fall River. I don't know it offhand.
Stumpy.
The first time I went axe throwing, I was in South Dakota, and everybody had made up these funny little name tags that were kind of quirky, ask me a question or whatever. So I put Lizzie on my name tag, and nobody got it because I was in South Dakota.
Oh, wow.
Oh, your name's Lizzie? I'm like, never mind.
Well, it's pretty cool. This place is actually Lizzie themed.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have to dress like Lizzie to throw an axe. Am I?
No, you can if you want, though.
No, I would do it if I had to. I'm just asking. I'm not going to have to.
Now, if you believe that people got stuck here on Earth in places where they did not want to be, I would think that someone like that, she would be like, really? My name's on all of this? And would go in there and start throwing axes at people. And like the place would be haunted if that's how this worked. Like, that they were around and like, dissing my name, and I don't know.
Well, it's like if I'm the mom, I'm looking back and thinking, so I get brutally murdered with my husband for at least a good 2 hours there of being hit with an axe. And now across the street, they have a themed place where people come and have fun and throw axes.
Well,
like, oof.
It's actually across the city a bit. It's not across the street.
Yeah, but we like to say cross the street. It's better for the people. They don't want to walk, travel. Uber stinks.
Well, all right.
Uber. Can't trust Uber.
I tend to think time and space kind of meld together when you're dead.
Yeah, but all right. So this sounds like Spagoli with Mr. Hand and Mount High. Is it their time when they're inside the building, or is it like our time when they're inside the building? Like, I know they run in, it's not linear. I get that. But when they're in the building, the ghosts, for the moment, they're in the now, correct?
I mean, that's a tough question. There's not much known about the paranormal. I've been told by a psychic medium, it's kind of like schizophrenia for them. They see it the way it was, and they see it the way it is.
I've always wondered about that. You go do an investigation in, say, like a 1600s, early 1700s house. We show up dressed like we dress in a pair of pants and, women dressing like men. Are they looking at us funny going, what do these women think they're doing? Like, are they thinking in their time? And we don't know. That's just something that occurs to me. I don't go in like in my demure long skirt that, how people would have dressed at the time. I wonder if they look at us and like,
well, that's good, Elise, but like I used to tell people, that boarding house has been occupied the entire time since the murders.
Yes.
I mean, if they're standing in that room and the previous owners are watching television, they're watching time pass. They're watching current events.
Right. Right. They are seeing how things change. Good point. That's why I tell people about old houses, too, because they say, oh, this is a beautiful 1800s house. Why would anybody, cut this wall down or put windows over here? Like, because people lived here and that's what they wanted to do. You want to update your house, you can't blame them.
Two odd paranormal things, though, is that one, that there's certain paranormal ghosts. Let's just call them ghosts for sake of conversation. Some that appear and they just do something that's routine and they're not really cognizant of anything around them. But then there's the ones that are checking in, and it's almost like they're like, "Hey, here I am, really quick. This is what's going on, huh? All right." They make maybe some contact, some conversation, and they're out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Whew. So this house now has there been any other murders? Maybe we need to know about. Has there been any other paranormal activity that's continued on there?
I mean,
Deb,
I don't
too?
know. Yeah, Deb, go ahead, Deb.
Well, I mean, that house has everything. We have seen orbs with our own eyes. You see apparitions. There is a shadow figure. I've seen him in the basement. It pretty much has everything paranormal that you can think of is in that house. So it's a mix. And I do believe there's others that come and go as well, because you get a lot of people that go there to investigate, and they're bringing spirits in with them, and they're whipping up more spirits, and there's just so much in that house.
That scares me too, because they've always told me, like, the spirits can attach themselves to you and all that other stuff. And I was thinking, like, so if you go to a place like that, that's like a hotbed, like a hot spot, and you've got maybe like 1 or 2 people attached to you, just say, for shits and giggles, would they end up blending in?
No, we learned our lesson with that. Remember, Sue, at Maplecroft?
Oh, yes.
Oh, we're going to Maplecroft next, so hold that story.
All right.
Okay.
So what you're saying is, what are you saying without saying it? How about that?
Well, we're saying when you bring spirits unintentionally, not really thinking about it, into a house that's already haunted, the spirits that are there can get upset.
Yes.
All right. I've heard that from a gentleman who had, for some reason, he collects haunted dolls and whatnot. One doll, I guess, ran the house, and bringing in another doll caused some sort of like alpha paranormal doll content.
Doll fight?
I don't know.
Apparently, it was unrest. A lot of things. Everybody gets sick in the house for a while. Like, it's almost like akin to like dropping a fish into a tank without like doing the whole drop the bag in thing and wait. 'Cause I don't have patience for that shit. I want that fish in the tank, so I have a hard time with like floating a bag. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys can hold that back, but I want to see them swim, which is usually why they die. But back to the story of it. So, how many rooms can you rent per night at the Lizzie Borden estate? Like, how many rooms are possible? Is it like 10 rooms? Is it like 5 rooms? Bedrooms, I mean.
6 bedrooms.
6 bedrooms. Now, comparison from room to room. Now, I know there's a master suite, so that must be obviously the standout. The other 5, are they similar as far as decor, as far as comfortableness, if that's a word?
Well, the master suite actually has a double bedroom in it.
Wow.
Lizzie's bedroom is a double bedroom. And the other 4 bedrooms are single bedrooms.
What's a double bedroom?
It has a back bedroom in it. It's 2 rooms connected with a door, basically.
Word. Okay, now that makes sense, because when you say 2 bedrooms or a bedroom, I just think it's just one big bedroom with 2 beds.
No.
I digress. So those 2 rooms are by far the best. The other 4, are they like a couple? Is it nice for a couple?
Yeah.
Somebody solo?
Yeah. Say, well, when we worked there, usually if you had a third person, you could rent a cot for them.
I always love that option of renting a cot. Like, that's like the greatest thing when you travel, because if you ever travel with a group of people, you don't want them laying in the same bed with you.
2 beds, yeah. People.
What about the food there, Deb? What do they serve in the house? Or is it more something where you're gonna want to like take a walk, a stroll to find something?
I don't know what they serve now. We used to serve a really nice breakfast that Tim used to cook, and he did the Johnny cakes and the typical old New England breakfast. I don't know what they serve now, though. Do you know, Sue?
No, I just know it does cost extra for breakfast these days.
Yeah, it used to be included, but it's not included anymore, so.
Bed
So-
and breakfast should be included.
Exactly.
Bed and breakfast.
So when did the newest owners take over?
Last June.
So, and my question is this, without naming names, have they gone more towards trying to make money? Is that what it sounds like is going on? Is it more of like a strip it down, don't pay anybody, but let's see how much money we can make?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's
Not like it used to be.
I'd say it's more about
You think it's more what?
he's trying to make his can there.
So they're trying to squeeze more juice out of the lemon, is what we're saying, right?
Yeah, still
All right.
a great place to visit.
All right. I got thrown off by Deb's ceiling fan.
I'm so sorry, my battery's dying. I forgot to charge my phone.
I stare at ceiling fans. It's another issue that I have.
So, Mike, I was listening to a story today by a person that does a podcast that I really like. I do listen to some other podcasts, not just legit paranormal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, every once in a while. This one is called My Paranormal Story by Tom Stewart. He's a really nice guy.
All right.
And he talks about one time he was at the house. He's only been there a couple of times. One time was he was a DJ, so he was doing kind of a radio event there. And the second time he stayed overnight with a friend, a girlfriend, and he said he was in Abby's room.
Mm-hmm.
Said that while he was sleeping, he felt her taking the covers from him, and he said, "Hey, stop it!" And she said, "Stop what?" And they looked at the end of the bed, and the covers were floating up over their feet, like someone had grabbed the blanket and picked it up. And he said, "Hey, stop that!" And the blanket went back down. He said,
Wow.
So that was pretty good.
Was the whole
just
blanket?
No, just like over the feet, like the blanket wasn't touching their feet anymore. Like somebody was making a bed basically and just put it down.
Oh wow.
I thought of you when I heard that story because I'm like, Mike would be so out of there.
Yeah, especially my feet of all things in bed. Like, you know what I mean? Bad enough with the dogs, but all right. So at the worst, we're saying that you might get poked, maybe you'll get pulled or pushed, but in recent times there hasn't been like anybody like getting shoved down staircases or anything like that.
Well, you know, when it comes to the spirits, it's all about respect.
Oh, well, what?
It's all about respect. If you respect them, you know, the most you'll get is touched.
So even if you respect them, you still might get touched.
Oh, of course.
But you won't get shoved if you're nice. They'll be nice back.
Exactly.
Yeah, let me ask you this. If I went into the place and I asked out loud, please nobody touch me, please no pushing, please none of that stuff, please, would that help?
It might. They do listen. They can hear you. So depending on who the spirit is, you know, some of them just do what they want, but
Have
you could do that.
identified like who some of these spirits may be? Like from listening to
Well,
or the actions or mediums.
Mr. and Mrs. Borden are always there. They never left. Lizzie and Emma come and go. The children are there. The children's mom is still there watching over the children. And then, like I said, I feel like sometimes there's other spirits that come and go as well.
Wow.
That's
It's a busy house.
Yeah.
so. Wait a minute. So all right, wait a minute. So Lizzie's ghost is at the house, and her parents' ghosts are also at the house. How does that work?
Well, I'd say she's always there. I'd say she.
I'm sorry, you broke. You're doing a little max headroom on me.
She stopped. Not
Say it
over
again.
there. Yeah.
So, but you don't like. There's no beef. There's no paranormal beef. Like if you killed me, and then your spirit's going to be where my spirit's going to be, I would think we'd have words at the very minimum. No.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, she stops in to visit, but Mr. Borden never goes to her house. She's mostly at her other house.
All right. Yeah. See, I would have an issue with that. And Sue, I'm also starting to figure out that you use the international who knows when it comes to paranormal. Which is like that's like the having the ace in your back pocket, because it's pretty much like, who knows with anything in paranormal. It's like, who knows?
Well, all these people claim to be field. I mean, I don't think so.
No, I agree with you. I don't think there's experts.
No,
but I think people need to be more willing to stick with what they say. Like, in other words, like, I'm not saying that about you. I'm saying in general, when people make a claim, they don't want to make a hard claim because they're worried about the ridiculous blowback that happens nowadays if you say something that maybe someone might not like you to say. You know what I mean?
Well, we're investigating, so that's what we do. We want to find out what's going on. But you don't get all these before. You get a lot more questions.
Of course, yeah.
Look, again, I like the whole idea of just investigating. Like, I like the idea of people getting together, setting things up and just enjoying themselves on what they're trying to do. Like, I'm a real big fan of that. I just wish when people discovered things or whatever it was, they were just more definitive. Like if something happens, like, they're definitive about what happened. But it seems like no one wants to like have things stuck to their name, attached to their name, almost like a spirit. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you get a lot of maybes, less yeses, less nos, a lot more maybes.
Because we don't have the answers. I mean, I can stand here and say that coffee cup just moved over there. That's all I can say for certain. I can't tell you if Lizzie did it or Mom did it or Dad did it, why it happens. All I can say is, yes, that cup moved. Mm-hmm. So, and that's as definitive as you can get.
Exactly. I could, but it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Right. I could make up a story.
But all the time. Therein lies the rabbit hole of anything could be maybe. Anything could be like whatever. I mean, it's getting to the point now where, honestly, if you saw a unicorn on CNN, you'd be like, hey, they finally found the unicorn. And that'd be probably the most I'd get of a rise, because it's like, I'm expecting anything at any time right now.
There's a saying that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. You can't just give regular evidence. You got to come up with, this better be good. You got to cross every T and dot every I, or the whole thing's going to fall apart.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. And I just think, like, but it's also like when someone has a personal, like, view, sometimes they don't want to stay hard on it. They don't want to stick with it because it might offend somebody. Like, I go back to that cryptid thing I went to, Bigfoot con in Fort Defiance, Virginia. And every table had a different reason about why Bigfoot was, how he came to be and what he is. One was like he was like a spirit, when he lived on the ground, on and on. But then this one gentleman got up and he actually dated one of the girls from Gilligan's Island. It was I think it was Mary Ann. So he dated Mary Ann for a while, and she was like really old, and he has recorded voicemails of her drunk pleading with him, like in the middle of the night. It's like I felt so bad for her, and I was trying to get a gauge on this guy, and he got up and started to tell everybody that Bigfoot was in your head. That Bigfoot was a figment of your imagination, that you manifested Bigfoot is not really something that exists. And me, being the person that I am no longer now listening to him talk. I'm just looking across the room and I'm watching all the mushroom clouds. Every table's losing it. They're all like, oh no, like, I've been doing this for 15 years. This guy's gonna up there and say that like it doesn't exist at all. It's in my head. It was so amazingly brilliant. I enjoyed it so much because of not the confrontation, but just finally because you had to have people step up and give their best Bigfoot evidence. And the thing with Bigfoot is there's no evidence. There's really no evidence. There's just nothing. And there's been nothing new. Like, I keep asking, what's new? And they're like, oh, we're going to use heat seeking like drones. And it's like, yeah, really? All right. But like, so one guy says something, then whatever. So Lizzie bought a house. It's haunted. It's had murders. But that doesn't mean that, like, if I went there with my wife, I would necessarily have something haunted or bad happen to me.
No.
We say that?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Some people are open to it than others.
Yep. So, Deb, does it have to do with how open you are or how willing you are to be open?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, for a while, we were keeping a log just to see why certain nights were more active than others. We didn't do it for very long, and we did everything. We would write down the moon phase, the weather, but more importantly, who were guests that evening at the house. And the only thing I noticed as a pattern were when we had like psychic mediums or people who were empaths or more open to spirit communication, the house would get more active.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a known phenomenon in parapsychology. They call it the sheep-goat effect. This lady, Schmeiler, came up with it, where if you believe in the paranormal things seem to happen more than to people who don't. Just like that, they wrote down, the person's level of belief in these experiences that they had, and they found the same thing that you did.
Yeah, and it's unusual too, I think, because once you open up communication with them, they're always around you, and they know, like, word travels fast in the spirit world, and they definitely know that you want to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say it's a natural talent. Some people say it's a talent that can be developed, where, I might be able to draw a dog, but if I take some art lessons, I can really paint a dog and make it beautiful. So some people say that psychic and mediumship being a part of that, psychic powers are like that, where everybody has this little bit, and then supposedly you can flex these muscles and learn how to do these things and get a little bit better at it.
That dog metaphor was incredible. I didn't know where you're going with that one, but that was good. The dog metaphor you just used, how you took us on a story about dogs.
I'm drawing a dog. I don't see ghosts, so I need to work on these things.
I'm like, Elise is hitting the sauce. I don't know where we're going now, talking about dogs. Well, I'm going to figure it out when she gets back. All right, so as far as the prices per night, I'm not asking for exact amounts, but is it reasonable for a couple to stay there for a night?
It used to be. I know the prices have been raised, but I don't know to what they've been raised.
Yeah.
But it used to be reasonable.
The lack of passion you have when you speak of the new place makes me feel like
I'm sorry, I can't.
Be up in flames, and like there'll be nothing left, and it's just gonna be people running around with like blood or paint. It's just like, is it that bad now?
No, it's not. It's not that bad.
No.
So
it's not that bad.
I just get the feeling it's not like it was, because I was only there once. I went with Rise Up Paranormal, and they had held a fundraiser for Max the cat.
Yeah.
So we were there that night, and it wasn't a huge group. It was, and I just remember everyone there being so nice that, you could just tell people love the house, love the history of the house, love to tell the story about not just the murder, a story about a family that lived there, and, people in the neighborhood. And I really did enjoy that, and I'm sorry to hear that it probably isn't like that anymore. As much.
Yeah, it was like family when you came to visit. Leanne treated everybody like family, so everybody felt so comfortable there,
Yep.
So there's no more TLC, is what we're saying.
Hard to say.
So just say maybe. I'm gonna help you out. That is your word. That's like your catchphrase. Maybe, and I'll roll with it. So maybe, and I'll go. Okay, Deb, what do you think? If she can say whatever, just say maybe. I like it.
Okay. It's not like it used to be, but is it a good place to go visit today? Sure, of course it is.
Yeah, you could still have some fun.
Absolutely.
So it's like a B+ now. Used to be an A+, but it's still a B+. So you would go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, is this a romantic place, or is this strictly because you're going there for the paranormal investigation part of it?
It depends. Five had a lot of weddings there. We get a lot of people that honeymoon in the murder room, and our last owner, her and her fiance had spent the night for Valentine's Day, and then it went up for sale and they purchased it. So, yeah.
So they fell in love with the room, the haunted room where they fell in love.
the whole idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful. I would know who. I mean, I can only imagine if I would have told the wife, "Oh yeah, by the way, you know how you wanted to go to Mexico for the honeymoon and all that good stuff with the beach and the sand? No. I got something better. Lizzie Borden house. Oh, Fall River. You're gonna love it. Like I don't.
The Portuguese restaurants, though. Come on.
My wife is Portuguese.
I love Portuguese food.
If you want a great, real fast Portuguese story, so again, at least you don't have any alcohol on you because if you do, you should be drinking. I'm about to talk Italian. So everything I knew growing up was just strictly Italian. Everyone's Italian. So my wife is Portuguese and English. So my wife, we build a house. My dad comes over, and my wife's like, she painted the door red on a blue house, and my dad goes, "What's going on? Why do we paint the door red? It looks like a bunch of Portuguese live here." And there's just a pause, and my wife goes, "Ray, I'm Portuguese," and my dad goes, "It's a beautiful color." Walked right out of the room. Like that. It was such an amazing moment because it's just something like that. Like the old timers would say, there's so many dumb phrases they say that are offensive and they don't even pay attention to like what they're actually saying. But what a moment that was, because he was so embarrassed and upset at the same time. He wanted to crawl up into a ball. He was just like, "Ooh, boy, did I hit the wrong tone." Now, if I don't want to stay there, where would be another location in the area that I could stay? I know you mentioned it before. Begins with an M. Maple something.
That's actually been sold to private owners, so no one will be able to stay there, unfortunately.
What is the name of the place, though?
Maplecroft.
All right. Is it a hotel motel?
No, neither.
It's a home with how many bedrooms?
Oh, geez. 1, 2.
You don't have to. I'm not gonna. This isn't a test. I'm not gonna like.
It's just huge. It's a huge Victorian.
So they were rented out before, though, like bed and breakfast style. At one point.
Not really. No.
No.
A couple times. That's about it.
And what are the new owners doing with this location?
The new owners are gonna use it as a private family home.
That's it.
That's it.
What
That's
happened
a huge
there?
house.
What happened? Did anything happen at this place? Is there any history to this place that makes people want to buy it like that?
Well, it's the place that Liz Borden moved to after she was acquitted, and it's the place she died in as well.
It's like a safe house. So
Sanctuary, yeah.
Yeah, without Kayleen. So was does her ghost also inhabit that house?
It does, yes.
She's mostly there.
Yep.
All right. Now, when she's there, or she's at the other, back at the Lizzie Borden house, it's oddly named for her, that it just so happened to be named after her. But when she goes back there, is it the same place, the same person? I mean, same spirit, or is it two different impressions of the same soul?
I mean, I'd only be guessing.
I know that's what we do. Yes,
I do think it's her, but we've had different people that believe that when what happened, you know, a part of her soul when she passed was fractured and stayed at 2nd Street. People have said that before.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
See, that's what makes sense. But Elise, tell me something. Is it because time isn't linear, which is, I really do agree with Sue. That's I could talk on hours for that. But I guess what I'm getting at is, Elise, is it the same soul at the same time can be in two different locations? Like at the same time, 3:00, maybe it pushes somebody both locations.
It could be. There have been cases of people physically being seen in two locations at one time. Or, you know, a person lying in a hospital bed dying, and they're seen walking down the street in London by, you know, a cousin who calls the house and said, "I didn't know you would," and there's no answer because they're lying in the hospital dead. So there have been verified cases, more older cases. You know why? Because people used to write to each other and there was no immediate communication. So they would see them.
Wasn't that great? Oh, those are the good old days.
And then a week later, the letter would come that person said, "Oh, I saw Joe on Tuesday." And It died that same moment. So you had a lot better evidence a long time ago than we do now with this instant communication.
So now, because it's not linear, Sue, it is possible that it could be in two places at the same time and be the exact same soul, right?
Yeah.
The whole. All right.
I've heard
just said maybe.
Places at once, you know.
Yeah.
Deb,
Mike, you're getting this thunderstorm too. Holy cow!
It's so bad. It's really crazy over
Well,
here.
that's right. You're over there.
I'm in the basement. Off on Google. There's nothing going on.
I'm upstairs. I can hear it on the roof. It's like,
yeah, I
holy
can't
cow.
hear anything down here. I can't. So, all right, I want to get back to these places really quick. So, in the area that they're located, I guess if you're into the paranormal thing and that's your thing, there's a lot of other there's like the triangle of oh boy,
The Bridgewater Triangle.
There you go. There's all that kind of stuff that's in that area. Now, are there any like Six Flags or anything fun? Or anything like that?
Oh, well, you know what's kind of fun is the battleship. We love the battleship. It's a battleship, a destroyer, and a submarine, and you can just go on and you can just spend the whole day. They have a little cafe in there, and you can just spend the day exploring the historical battleship. It's fascinating.
That's the Fall River celebrates like something. They used to do a thing where they had bands play, and it was
that was Celebrate America. But Deb's talking about Battleship Cove.
Battleship Cove.
You can go on the battleship.
Yeah, that's gosh, I haven't been there in years.
So which battleship am I talking about then?
USS Massachusetts.
Okay. Gosh darn. Awful lot of battleships. We played that show, the band I was in. There was 2 stages. We headlined the second stage, and the headliners of the first stage was that kid Billy something. He was like this young Rhode Island kid that sang country music.
Billy Gilman.
There he is. Yeah, he was the headliner of the thing. It was what a beautiful area that was. Like I tend to shit on Fall River, but I love that area and I love certain areas. Like it reminds me of like my town. There's certain parts I really love, and then there's certain parts I just wish I had an eraser. There, but so there's all this history. I know there's lots of bars, lots of nightlife in the area to find it. Do you get a lot of transient like people, or is it mostly people from the area when you go out or you're in the area?
I'd say Battleship Cove gets people from all over the world to visit, as well as.
That's awesome. It just thundered right now.
Yeah, that's scary.
I always wondered about places like what like the nightlife, the whole thing. Is it made up of just locals, or is it locals and people visiting? Because there's a totally different type of atmosphere, attitude, whatever AT word you want to use. When you go out, when they're local people, it's tougher to break in. When it's people from all over the area, it's not as hard. And I guess I say that because I look like I do. So my face is the thing to pick on. Like it's a bullseye for drunk problems. So I do better where it's less locals. You know what I mean? They don't know each other. But is it very tight knit?
Locals, yeah.
Deb, would you suggest telling somebody, look, you're going on vacation, why not come to Fall River, Mass? Check out these locations. But would you feel confident in doing that?
Oh, sure. I love it. I love going there. It's so much fun. And
that makes money.
You go up on the hill and you see all the Victorian houses, and the Historical Society is an amazing mansion that gives tours. There's just so many things that are just so fascinating and fun. They have a good music venue.
It's a place where you need to, at least me, take my life tempo button and go from 100 to like maybe 70. Whenever I've been there, it's that kind of like, in other words, like it's the details. It's looking at small things, big things, but it's like looking at them, really looking at them, not doing the old saw it and moving. You know what I mean? It's like almost like when you're in those situations, I tend to like slow everything down because that's what I'm there to enjoy. Like there's not going to be no roller coaster drop. I'm not going to do a loop-de-loop. So I might as well, you know what I mean? Like really focus on the history, which is where I get into the whole paranormal thing, because I love hearing old stories. I love the history of things. You don't know about something until you know its history. You know
Exactly. Yep.
and it's like building a house. You want to know the foundation, and then you can figure out all the other stuff because it falls. So as tour guides, give me like a crazy moment, and then paranormal wise, and then a crazy moment humanity, like dealing with somebody that you were like, oh my God, can I get this guy out of the house? Or lady, either one. Deb, you go first. Give me like an amazing moment, and then a moment you're like, oh God, I gotta get this person to go.
Well, I met so many amazing people there, but you do get the kind of creepy ones that come in and they like to talk about their past lives, but some of them are just a little bit creepy. Paranormal wise, I mean, we had so many things. We would get touched all the time on our tours, get my clothes tugged on. And one night we were investigating, it was the most amazing thing. The orbs started shooting right around the room. With our own eyes, we were seeing them as we were investigating, just some of us that worked there. That was totally amazing to me to see that.
No drinking, no drugs on that night?
No, no, just
an
early night of investigating, yeah, it was pretty cool.
What's the worst person then?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if I had anybody.
You guys are too nice. You're too nice. You ask me you can say Dunkin' Donuts to your house, Mike. Who's the worst person? I'll tell you right now.
Sue has a creepy person. Remember the lady, Sue, that said she was Sarah?
Oh my God, yeah.
I think Deb doesn't want to go on record and saying that someone was a rough guest. So now, because of that, I'm not only going to add that to your plate, but I'm going to give you one more. So you're going to give me 3 people that have been bad at this location because Deb didn't want to give a full answer. Sue, the floor is yours.
They're going to charge my phone. Hey.
All right. Well, I doing a night tour one night, and I had these guests come back for dinner, and this lady was so drunk that I couldn't even get the tour. I mean, each just interrupting, loud, obnoxious. The other guests were just trying to shut her up. We got to her room. She just jumped in the air, jumped on her bed. What's everybody doing in this room? I mean, I couldn't end that tour fast enough.
So she was just like stinking drunk, and they were enabling her because it was like funny to see what she'd do next.
Oh no, they were pissed off at her.
Oh God, yeah.
They were pissed off, but she wasn't taking the hints. Yeah.
And did anybody at any point think maybe we can duct tape her mouth, tie her up, we'll be good?
All right. God.
You wanted to though. So you probably had the tape in your glove compartment, right?
Whatever she could have.
All right, so you got 2 more people. Sorry,
all right.
This is Deb's fault, so go ahead.
So here's a winter day, okay? It's completely dead in there. I'm all by myself on the property. And this lady comes in the gift shop to purchase a ticket. So I start to take her through the house. I get to the first room, and I'm about to give my tour. And she interrupts and says, oh, no, I don't want a tour, she says. I just want to walk around and look. So I said, okay. So we walked through the second room, and she suddenly turns and says, you're going to think I'm crazy, she says, but I'm actually Sarah Morse Borden, the girl's real mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to think you're crazy. You're right. That's what I would respond. Like, yep, you're right.
Okay.
And walking around the house,
she's
looking around is a tour, but a silent one. So I don't get that either.
Yeah. She picks up Lizzie's picture. She starts crying her eyes out, saying, oh, my girls. And then she would get real close to my face and say, you believe me, don't you? And I was like, oh, yeah.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
No, yeah. See, that's why you got to hire somebody that comes in. You ring the bell. I'll just walk in the room and be like, you got to go. And by the time you're already out the door.
Oh, my
You got
God.
one more left, too.
Oh, no. A third. Let's see.
Wasn't there a guy that was outside praying or something on the porch that wouldn't leave?
Praying?
Is that you that was telling me that? There was some guy out there on the porch and he started praying and he wouldn't leave and
No, I don't think that was my tour, Deb.
No?
No.
Somebody was
What if Deb's like, oh my God, wait a minute, that was when I was in Europe. Wait a minute, that was like. But so he was praying on a porch and wouldn't leave. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, he was yelling and throwing himself on the ground and praying and all kinds of weird stuff.
Yeah.
I can't take overly dramatic anything. Like if there's one thing that it just kills my soul is someone just being overly dramatic. Like on the USS Salem, the gentleman with the wooden walking stick that he had to put some sort of like stone on the top of it, and he walked into the room. And the first thing he said to me was, "Oh my God, you see all the spirits? They're everywhere. They're all talking to me. They all touch me. Don't you see them?" And it was just like, no, I don't. It's like, no, not only do I not, but the way that you're acting, I really don't see anything. I mean, that could have been a spirit on my face, and I would have been no. Like, just keep walking with the walking stick. Those are the ones that I think give paranormal a bad name, because like they show up on a porch and they just start praying. You know what I mean? It's like you're gonna get the lunatics, but you also get the historians and the people that are really interested in stuff like that. So,
right. It's like, well, what's his relationship to this story through the years that he feels the need to pray? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's strange.
And in the Northeast itself, I mean, we're some of the worst people there is. They just really are. Northeast is just shady. Think about it. Every state in the Northeast, the good ones, shady characters. Yeah, I just don't trust them like I would other people. But so you guys, did you enjoy? It sounds like you really missed it, Deb.
Oh,
it sounds
God.
like you really missed being at the house when it was the way it should be, just churning along, and everybody was kind of happy, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. We were one big family, really. You know, that was my second home
The
for
place
15 years.
really.
Yeah.
And then they just sold it, and nobody that had worked there before was retained.
A couple people. I think.
Would they be people, without naming names, that were more, let's say, ass kissers? Is that a good word?
I'd just say they were newer employees. They hadn't been there that long, and they stayed on.
So maybe.
That's a maybe, yeah.
So Deb, what we're saying though is that
say so.
you need to keep. They should have kept more of the OGs on. That's original gangsters.
Yeah.
I'm just make sure that would have helped the place, because if you want to show off history and stuff like that, then you would want somebody that actually has some history with the location.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he was going to keep us all on. It was our decisions to leave. We didn't agree with his future plans or the contracts he wanted us to sign.
Oh boy, here we go. And anytime someone brings up contracts, it's like, really?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like non-disclosures and stuff like that. You guys weren't allowed to say shizzle about nothing, huh?
You know, like a 35-page contract for me.
Oh my God.
I just couldn't do it. You know, it killed me. It killed me to leave, but I couldn't agree.
Nope.
I'm gonna guess, but did they not want you to speak of the paranormal stuff that went down? Is that what it kind of was? Like it was kind of like a what you see in these walls
because
type thing?
he's keeping the ghost thing going.
Yeah.
So-
No, but I'm thinking he wants to control the narrative. He doesn't want anybody
absolutely.
else speaking anything about nothing. Like, so he's telling you, don't talk about anything you see, kind of unless if I okay it or I tell you what to kind of say.
Exactly. If you write a book, it's mine. You know? Yeah.
Like I own you, basically.
Yeah.
And that's the exact vibe I've been getting the whole time about this guy's this person. Could be a lady, who knows? That's the location. But they seem like they want to do it their way, and they don't care how the right way was done or the older way was done. He's got it in his head how he wants to do it. And the biggest part is controlling the narrative, which is the biggest part of the world. But that's just life. So, and you could not agree to those terms.
The first thing the man said was, I'm not here for the history. I'm not here for the paranormal. I'm here to make money.
What a turn off right from the get-go.
Exactly.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? He should have been like just with a hammer smashing puppies. Boom, boom, one after another, because this guy is lovable. He's a So Deb, is that kind of the thing too? Like you looked at all that stuff. Like it was just you and Sue that made the whole jump over the wall, or was it anybody else?
No, most of us left.
Yeah. I'm actually at a friend's house right now with three former tour guides.
Oh, that's nice. You guys are all friends.
Do you guys get together and just go places and walk around and tour it?
Actually, tonight is game night. I forgot I had this podcast.
What game are you playing?
They're all sitting in the other room waiting for me to finish.
Oh, well, we're gonna wrap up really quick. What game are you playing?
Quite a few games. I think they're playing Sorry right now.
Sorry. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or as we used to call it, family fight night.
Yeah, we're pretty vicious.
Why did you have to slide on me?
I thought the game of life was a little messed up. Like how they just threw college and like kids all of a sudden in your car. All of a sudden, like I roll a dice and I get all the stuff in my car. It's like I would have made better life decisions. Monopoly takes too long. I don't understand risk. I would love to play it, but I don't get it. Yeah. And I hate cornhole. Sorry if I'm offending anybody, but that's not a game. It's not, at least it's not a sport. I get neighbors that come out and they stretch out. You see them bending. It's like, what are you doing? To play cornhole. You know the beanbag club thing? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, they stretch and they keep a score on this big board. It's like, what the crap? Anyways, I digress. Ladies, is there anything else you'd like to say as we wrap this up? Anything you'd like to promote that we can put up on our website?
Again, if you're into the history and you're into the paranormal, it's a great location to visit.
Yeah, and we actually have on our channel right before we left, before the house was sold, Sue and I we filmed an investigation, just the two of us in the house with our camera person, and that actually shows like what the house is capable of, and we did capture some really cool things. If anybody wants to watch that on our channel as well.
That's cool. You can show that because you didn't sign the contract, right?
That's right.
That's exactly right.
Wanted to own it.
And as far as the website, which website are you speaking about?
Well, it's our YouTube channel, Lizzie Borden Tour Guide Investigations.
All right. So I got to get a link for that from you guys. I'll put it up on the page that when people come, they click on it, go right to your YouTube page.
Oh, great.
Awesome. Thank you.
This right here is Stumpy. Am I correct?
I don't have my glasses on. You tell me. Stumpy.
Yeah, well,
Fall River.
Just say that. Yeah, that's going to be it.
All the reserve. Wednesday,
Yeah.
5 to 9.
Yeah.
Question for you, though.
Yeah.
It's $25 a person per hour as an axe thrower.
Yep.
But somehow a non-thrower has to pay $15. Are they retrieving the axes? Are they being thrown at? Like, why are they paying $15 to just watch somebody throw an axe?
I don't know. Maybe
Can they play defense? Like, you guard the guy, try to keep him from getting a good shot off with the axe? Like, what $15 for non?
I don't know. I'll have to ask the boss that one.
Yeah, ask what that.
So whole groups of people don't come and only pay for one person to throw, and then they're all taking turns, and the employees have to go, and that's what I would do if I owned a place like that, because you could get 20, a group of 10 that comes in, one pays to throw. Now you get 10 people standing around doing that.
Exactly, right?
Sounds like you're hustling, though, right there, Elise. Sounds like you're pulling the Italian side out of you again. You're a little hustling.
I'll tell you what, though, we don't get very many non-throwers.
Right.
How could you stand there and watch somebody throw an axe? Imagine that. That's like when they went to the moon for the first time. Neil Armstrong and the other guy got to walk on the moon, but the third guy never got to leave the lunar capsule. So he went all the way to the moon and landed on the moon, but was never allowed to leave the capsule. Or the capsule, however you want to pronounce it. That's horrendous. Like, who would want to imagine having to getting to go to the moon, right? You're at the moon, and those guys are in what? They had a dune buggy. They were playing golf. Like, they're living it up on the moon, and this guy can't even leave the capsule. Like, awful, non-thrower. So, if I want to come, how far in advance do I have to book this?
Not too far. We're slow in the summer. If you're coming in the wintertime, I say book it a couple weeks ahead.
Because I'm thinking between me, the wife, I have twins. They're both 18, a girl and a boy. I mean, they would love to throw axes at each other. I don't think you guys offer that. I've looked at the whole.
No, we
thing.
don't. And
No.
if they're under 21, they can only come on certain times.
Oh, okay. What times do those be?
Again, check the website.
All right, maybe. No, but this is actually something I'm going to go do soon. Like
Awesome.
I've been staring at it and I keep thinking, I know I got a broken collarbone on the left side, but with my right arm, I'm going to throw some axes. This might be fun.
It's really fun.
And if I do go there, I will. Are we allowed to film?
I've seen her let someone film before, so probably.
I'd like to put that up on the legit paranormal
Yeah.
site. So Elise, I'm thinking maybe we go. Me, you, Buddy, and Joey. We go to Stumpy's, and we let Joe be the non-thrower, if you know what I mean. All right. Elise, do you have any last words before we wrap up?
I don't. I just, I think, maybe it's not as much as homey as it used to be, but Lizzie Borden House would still be a great place for a person interested in history and the paranormal to spend a night. Then maybe go out the next day and go to Battleship Cove, then go throw some axes, then head home. It's a nice staycation, not too far away.
Right? And
I
dinner.
agree. Yeah. A little bit of everything. There's a nightlife in the area. You're not too far away from Boston. It's a lot of history there. There's a lot to be done, and you can throw axes. But it's a good time. So, you have any last words, ladies, before I go into my wrap up? Okay.
We're good.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being here for Legit Paranormal Vacation Planners on Tuesday, 7/12/2022. So, for Deb Vickers, Sue Vickery, Elise Vickerson, it's me, Mike Lefty, King Michael. This was Legit Paranormal Vacation Planners, brought to you by legitparanormal.com, brought to you by legitpodcast.com. It all goes back to the same thing, but I like to say it. Thank you for watching. We will see you again next